Before we jump into today's video, I just want to make it very clear that I'm not going to show you how to get these files. I'm not going to show you how to access any of this sort of stuff. A lot of the files that you'll see me using and interacting with are either TV rips that I took myself from my own subscription services, or a lot of Blu-ray and other DVD combo packs will give you digital copies that if you know how to take from the web, you can source that out and make your own versions and your own copies and save them to your hard drive. But this video is going to be how to make your own personal home Netflix. So the best thing about Netflix that everyone loves is that you can just turn it on, sit back, and just watch whatever there is. But the huge drawback and the kicker to it is that that subscription changes from month to month. Netflix could have something really good one month, and then by the time you get set to watch it, it could be gone. So there's this really great program called Plex, Plex, and it is amazing. Ultimately, what you can do with it is make your own personal Netflix. You can make your own libraries on your computer, or if you have a server set up, super easy, super cool. So I'm going to show you what I mean. So basically over here I have all of my little side tabs. So you can go to like anime, and you can basically click on any one of these, like Cowboy Bebop here, and it'll break them up into seasons. Movies can just play. You can load up subtitles, different audio tracks. Same with this. So you can like click on episode 1. And the best thing about all of these is you can edit, you can control and change everything in here. A lot of times Plex will pull the metadata if it can recognize the file and throw it in normally for you. So this here is it's really cool. So we can change the little thumbnail image that comes up. We can put anything we want in here. If we want to change the title, if we want to change, the background for each season, or overall the Cowboy Bebop itself. It populates a lot of that in there. And I know a lot of people that have tried Plex and have had uh, very skewed results because of how Plex pulls the data. So I'm going to show you how to go about doing something like that. So we're gonna actually take this new episode here of Uchu Sentai Q Ranger, the 41st season of Sentai, and I'm going to show you how to get that for other tokusatsu and other anime and other subbed stuff. So when you add a library, basically what you're doing is Plex works in two parts. You have the home server, and then you have the theater modes. And the theater modes can either be on your computer, or you can even download the app for your phone and ChromeCast it to your TV, which is my option. I have ChromeCast all over all my other TVs at home. So no matter which room I'm in, I can just connect to it and just throw media on there. But basically what you need to do on your server side is make sure you have the Plex Media Server installed and running, and then you can go to app.plex.tv, and it'll load in all this. You can sign in. But basically what you need to do is you need to add libraries, and libraries are going to be these things over here that are added in that you specify what it is. So we have movies, TV show, you can even do music, albums, CDs, even photos and slideshows. So for this demonstration we're going to do TV shows, and we're going to just title this one YouTube Sentai. That'd be a good season. YouTube Sentai. So basically after you do that, you set the parameters for what it's going to be called, what type it is, because movies and TV shows are going to be different. Obviously, TV shows are going to have seasons and episodes. So now you need to browse for your media folder. So this will bring up all your drives, all the things you have. So this one right here, it's got the little worldwide symbol. That is my own custom server that I've made, that I have and store all this stuff on, that is constantly on. I'm not going to get into what I did for that. But basically to get Plex to work and to have it throughout your house, you have to keep your computer on, make a computer that can be kept on, or get a server that is able to stay on and transcode the media and push it to the TV. So basically we're going to go to this. I created a little folder here under YouTube, and we're just going to add that, and that YouTube folder is just like this. It's just got Uchu Sentai Q Ranger in there. because I want to just take this from the very beginning of where you would be starting. So we click Add Library, and then what it's going to do is it's going to start scanning. Sometimes you may have to click Update Library, and this is very much what a lot of people run into. This library has no content yet. So let's fix that. Let's just call it QRanger, because I'm pretty sure most of us are pretty organized, and we're going to want to keep all of our episodes here. Alright, so we got a QRanger thing. Alright, so it recognized it as QRanger. It doesn't know what it is. It's Season 1, Episode 1, and this is pretty much one of the stills from that it pulls automatically. So, we got it in, but it doesn't seem to know what the file is. So if we go to this site called the tvdb.com, this is the TV database. This is where it's pulling all the information from. So if we type in Super Sentai, we click on this here, or we search for this, whichever works. We'll pull up usually any TV show that you're looking for. You can find on here. And as you'll see, it has all 1 through 41 seasons, and this newest one is the 41st Sentai. And then when you click on each season, it'll give you the images here and what that looks like. So let's go back to Plex. Let's see what this would actually look like when it's all said and done. So if we click under my Tokusatsu, I have Super Sentai here. So Super Sentai, if you think of the hierarchy of how everything is done, so my library is called Tokusatsu. In the Tokusatsu, I have a Super Sentai folder, and then I have each folder for each season. So if we go down to 41, here's the same file we're working with. The Universe's #1 Superstar is Episode 1. We can change the poster, and there's that automated generated one there. So that's what it's supposed to look like when this is all said and done. So in order to get it from there, you have to start thinking of organizing your media in a different way. So a few ways that you can do that is, well, the library points to YouTube, okay? So it's a TV show, so we need to make a folder called Super Sentai. You want to make these little kind of like cheat sheets for the computer and the metadata to figure out what this is. So if you title a folder the title of the show, which is Super Sentai, it's going to have an easier time of finding what this is. So let's click go. Refresh here. This is always a good sign. This little tagging here means that it's looking and it's searching for metadata. It's trying to figure out what this is. And again, this is going to give us Season 1, Episode 1. So we need to do another step. So since we have the Super Sentai folder set up, cool. Well, QRanger's Season 41. So in order to get this to really register, instead of calling it QRanger, we'll have to call it Season 41. And you can even keep in parentheses QRanger here if you want to. Just the 41 in season will be enough to trigger it to understand what this maybe is. So if we do that, it always grays out the ones as it's trying to think and it's trying to figure out what these are. So again, it's not working. So if all of this doesn't work, there's a program that you can get called FileBot. It's absolutely free and it's absolutely genius in how it works. But basically what you can do is you can take this folder, which is subbed by our good friends over at Overtime, and you can throw it in here. So what it'll do is it'll give you the original file name, and you can click on this match button, and then it'll drop down this, hit the TVDB, and a lot of times it'll ask you, well, what is this show? So if it asks you that, you can just click on like Super Sentai or whatever you're doing. But notice how it'll change it to a new name here. So this is the hierarchy titling that you may need to do for a lot of your files. And I've gone through and I've done it for all of my Tokusatsu, anime, everything that I have that's subbed or something that I've extracted from my own personal copies. I've had to name this in order for Plex and the metadata to stick and to find it. So basically, how this titling works is it'll be the title of the show, dash S for season, and then 41, since this is the 41st season, episode 01 dash, and then the title. Sometimes you don't even need the title. But all we do is we click rename, validate, because sometimes you can't have certain characters here, continue, and you'll notice that it has now changed this title. So while we were doing that, this thing realized what Super Sentai was. So it pulled the metadata from Super Sentai starting in 1975, which is the right title, and then we can see all of the different covers we can change. So this is the nice thing about Plex, is that you can update and customize your own covers and do whatever you want. And as we see, it's still thinking that this is Season 1 Go Ranger. So we're going to refresh it one more time. Now that we have everything... Oops, it changed it there. Now that we have everything figured out on the file end, and we've changed this file name, we have it nested inside of Season 41. So now when we open it, this is changed to Season 41. So that's a good sign. I think what we might have to do is we might have to actually get rid of this. I don't have any of the parentheses on mine, and it works pretty well. So let's see. And sometimes this just needs to like get its butt kicked a little bit just to kind of make it happen. If you can set this all up before you import it, it works a lot better when it's not trying to overwrite pre-existing metadata. So if it's not working, if it's already been processed and you can't get it to do anything, hit delete here. And be careful, because sometimes Plex, if you give it certain permissions, it can delete it from your file system, like this. But since we have it saved, we can just paste it back in. Oops. Here, let's open up a new. Let's just copy it straight from my original source. So how I have my setup is, here's Tokusatsu, Super Sentai, Season 41, and then we can just copy that over right now, just to get that squared away. And let's hit refresh again. So again, that tag symbol is always a good sign. It means it's working. If like when we were updating it before, it would just not really do anything, that's usually never a good sign. So while that's working, I can show you what this kind of looks like on the phone. So the phone app is pretty easy. You'll load it up and it can sync to all of your stuff. We have the Super Sentai right up there. So if we click on that, so here we have Zyuohger. We can even just click on one of the episodes and just start playing it, and it'll play. The best thing about Plex is when you're at home, you can stream this to any of your mobile devices, any like iPad, any laptop, and then you can also ChromeCast it. So so this is done, and look at that. So we have Season 41 set up. Let's give it one of these that I custom made and threw on there. So there we go. Season 41, Q Ranger, and as you'll notice, it's automatically loaded that in. So that's all you really need to do for your files, is figure out where they are. You might have to do a little bit of organizing, and I'm not gonna lie, all of the stuff that I've done has taken me literally hours to do. It's a very tedious project. The process is very slow sometimes, and you have to be very careful when you throw a bunch of files into FileBot, because sometimes the episodes might not match up. So what you might need to do is you might need to actually go through and title each one of them Super Sentai, season whatever it is that you're working on, episode whatever that is, and just kind of go through all that, throw it into FileBot, and then get the official shiny new names out, and then re-add it in. But that's basically all you have to do in order to get your media in place. And again, all this can be streamed straight from your phone, any other device. The best thing is that if you have ChromeCast, if you have any sort of like media streaming device, you can bounce it right to that. So here's all of the Zyuohger episodes, and we can just click play on any one of them, and we got it. Best thing about it is that you can choose whatever subs you want. You can choose whatever you want. Here, I'll show you one of my movies here. Here's some other stuff that you can do with it too. If you have a file that has multiple audio devices, or audio channels, I should say, you can select whichever one you want, like Japanese here, if they have embedded subtitles or if they're included in the folder. So if you think about it, movie folder, and then the movie itself's folder, and then inside you have the video file and then the subtitle file. Those will appear here, so that you can actually select those before you even play the movie. So if we do Japanese audio and we do English subtitles, we can then watch Star Wars. But there's endless possibilities that you can do. I just hope that this has been well illustrated enough to show you how to take unrecognizable media, put it into Plex, and then start creating your own Plex library. And hopefully, this will suit your needs more if you're like me and you watch a lot of subbed stuff, a lot of media that isn't readily available on Netflix or any other streaming devices. I know Crunchyroll has a lot of great stuff, and you can actually implement your Crunchyroll subscription through Plex and watch everything that you want in your favorite list or your upcoming list. Plex is it's a great system, and I hope you check it out.